Technology has offered the world's military ever more effective means of killing and maiming. But the unintended victim of their aggression? Our planet. In May 1990, the US Navy released a discussion paper confronting a stark reality. Human activity was altering the weather. This was the first official signal that defense forces would need to prepare for threats of a different kind. The rising seas and catastrophic weather that would reshape the battlefield and the combatants they would face. In the years that followed, it seemed that the entire world was acknowledging this new reality.
From any country. The imperative here is to do what we promise rather than to promise what we cannot do.
By 1997, 116 nations signed the Kyoto Protocol. It was a declaration of profound change, an unprecedented moment of togetherness as the world united in facing an existential threat to us all. Despite the promises,
we will meet our greenhouse gas limitation target for the purposes of the Kyoto Protocol.
Carbon emissions have soared, and with them, seas and global temperatures.
In a period of 6 weeks from late July to the end of August, over 15,000 people were killed in France by heat exhaustion, dehydration, and heat stroke.
Each year, the situation deteriorates. Whilst our response remains woefully inadequate.
To getting a binding framework of action after the Kyoto Protocol expires in 2012.
Copenhagen.
That's why I come here today, not to talk.
Cancun.
Cancun will be successful.
Durban.
The issue of the second commitment period of the Kyoto Protocol.
Paris, Glasgow, Dubai.
There is 30% more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere now.
3 decades of talk and treaties, but no action.
The climate deal is unanimous, an outpouring of emotion.
Yes, we have achieved the Paris Agreement.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
Why has the climate crisis spiraled out of control despite our efforts? The truth is, fossil fuels remained central to our way of life. And when those supplies were threatened, the response was not more innovation, but more conflict. Wars were fought to secure the resources that power both conflict and climate destruction. Oil, coal, gas.
The whole world is looking up to us for guidance and anxiously awaiting the outcome of this conference.
The truth was that the Kyoto Agreement had a hidden clause. Military emissions, the most carbon-intensive activity on the planet, were given a free pass. The industries and activities that consume the most fossil fuels exempted themselves from monitoring. Their emissions kept secret. Their impact on the climate crisis unchecked. And with every climate conference that followed, this exemption remained. It wasn't until the 2015 Paris Agreement that it was overturned, but only to be replaced with a voluntary reporting requirement. Few volunteered. And yet war is one of the greatest drivers of climate change. Global military forces are responsible for approximately 6% of all carbon emissions annually, more than many countries. It's far more than fuel-hungry fleets of tanks, planes and ships, but also the vast supply chains and infrastructure developed to support combat, all powered by fossil fuels. The war on terror alone was responsible for 1.2 billion tons of greenhouse gas since it began, with yearly emissions equivalent to a nation the size of Sweden. While the first 3 months of the war in Gaza led to new emissions greater than those of 26 individual countries annually. But emissions only tell a fraction of the story. War leaves behind more than the tragedy of human loss. It scars the land, destroying ecosystems and poisoning the earth. Rebuilding lost infrastructure generates vast amounts of emissions and poisons. The consequences of every individual war are felt across the entire planet for generations. Conflict and militarism fuel the destruction of both people and the planet in pursuit of resources that only accelerate the crisis. The results of this failure are unmistakable. Every second year, another 1 in 1,000-year storm. A devastating fire destroying forests. Nature, pushed to its limit, is striking back. The bitter irony.
Today, no nation can find lasting security without addressing the climate crisis. We face all kinds of threats in our line of work, but few of them truly deserve to be called existential.
The military wage wars for oil, knowing that it will hasten the climate catastrophe. This is why they sought to be, and remain, excluded from emissions reporting. The global military's addiction to oil, their addiction to secrecy, and their addiction to war must end. The global military has declared war on climate, and now the climate is fighting back. The real question is, whose side will we choose?